Welcome to SVG-TV News for Friday, May the 22nd, 2020. I am Bhavin Olver with the details. The isolation center at Argyle is now equipped with 4 ventilators donated by the Republic of China on Taiwan. The ventilators, which cost close to 100,000 EC dollars, are expected to help SVG manage any serious case of COVID-19. Ambassador of the Republic of China on Taiwan, Calvin Ho, said the ventilators are specially used in intensive care units and are highly sought after equipment worldwide, especially during this time of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Most needed equipment, not only in your country, not only in Taiwan, but worldwide. It's actually all over the world. The stock is all in short supply. I know you definitely need this equipment. This is a very important equipment nowadays while we are combating the COVID-19. But however, it's compared to other medical supplies, it's more difficult to attend them. But I'm so glad that finally we make them come here.
Anesthesiologist at the isolation center, Dr. Idalme Sanchez, said they have the ventilators put the center at an even more prepared state to receive a COVID-19 patient with elevated symptoms.
Now we are having another step in the fight against COVID. First with the face mask, because that will help us to protect ourselves, and second for the ventilator, that is very important. Now we know how we can manage patients in the critical conditions. That what is very important. We have no cases now, but now we know that because of Taiwan give us this, we are ready to fight the COVID-19.
To date, none of SVG's COVID-19 patients has been hospitalized, as all cases were reportedly mild. Also, at today's ceremony, an additional 60,000 masks were handed over to the Ministry of Health from the ROC, bringing the total number of masks donated to SVG at 100,000. Minister of Health, Wellness and the Environment, Luke Brown, said the government of SVG is grateful for Taiwan's help in its response to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Standing alongside each other for a long time now, and we've been standing together at this moment of COVID-19. Taiwan has helped us in considerable ways, and this is just a manifestation of one of those ways. You know, it was maybe a couple of weeks ago that I wrote to the ambassador asking about the possibility of a donation of ventilators, in particular of these 4 ventilators for our isolation center. There was immediate work on his part to see if he could transmit that message to his capital, and a response was forthcoming.
As part of efforts to control the spread of the coronavirus in SVG, a thermal imaging device to detect incoming passengers' body temperatures has been installed at the Argyle International Airport. Today, a simulation exercise using the device was carried out by the authorities at the AIA. Larissa Pokes-the-Kid tells us more in this report.
The thermal imaging device is set up at the entrance of the incoming passenger arrival gate, and all passengers' body temperature will be checked before they proceed to immigration. The device will be manned by airport personnel. Chief Executive Officer of the AIA, Corsell Robertson, said the thermal imaging device will definitely boost the airport's surveillance for COVID-19.
Certainly it will go a long way in assisting in our efforts to improve the port surveillance. And as mentioned by the ambassador, it gives the sense of safety to people who want to travel to St. Vincent, as well as those who are living here, to know that we are doing the initial test before people are being allowed into the country.
The thermal imaging device is one of 6 donated by the Republic of China, Taiwan, to the Ministry of Health. The ROC's ambassador to SVG, Calvin Ho, said that COVID-19 has impacted many countries, and the ROC is happy to do its part by assisting SVG with much-needed devices to help in its fight against the virus.
People come to this country, feel safer, and we hope that this disease will come very quickly with all the devices we have, so that, as I said, help to all, everybody can come to a safer environment.
Minister of Health, Wellness and the Environment, Luke Brown, was also part of today's simulation exercise. He touted the timeliness of having the thermal device and explained what passengers can expect.
The types of flights which come in from time to time. So I am happy that we equipped to carry out efficient screening process. The persons come, they stand in the designated area, their temperature is displayed on a screen almost like magic, and you're able to see if they have an elevated body temperature. You would be flagged in that sort of situation, and you might be subjected to other screening processes or procedures. It's not going to take you very long, so as soon as your temperature is recorded and registered, you'd be able to go on about your business.
The normal temperature will be anything below 37.9 degrees Celsius.
So what happens is as the person walks up, the camera reads the temperature on the exposed body parts of the person. The temperature that is very key is the one that is on the forehead. So the person would ignore the other temperatures. Once the software detects that the temperature is outside of the range in this case is 37, maximum in this case is 37.9. So once it's above that, the software will give an alarm. This passenger has a temperature of 38.2. So the software has displayed a visible heat alarm, and then there will be an action taken from here.
For SVG-TV News, Larissa Pogsley-Kidd.
All 25 results for the COVID-19 PCR tests done on Disney Cruise Line crew members who returned to SVG on Wednesday this week are negative. This is according to the reports received on Thursday, May 21, 2020 from the CAFA Public Health Lab. The COVID-19 task force said the Disney Cruise Line's crew members will, however, continue their quarantine in a government-approved facility for the entire 14-day period, in keeping with the established quarantine protocols, which refer to compliance with the conditions of quarantine and the precautionary stance of the Health Services Subcommittee. The task force said at the end of the quarantine period, a determination will be made on whether or not a second PCR COVID-19 test will be conducted on any crew member. Meanwhile, on Monday, 30 Vincentian students studying in Jamaica returned home on a One Caribbean chartered flight. In keeping with the existing reparation protocols, the students were screened on arrival at AIA for COVID-19 exposure using rapid tests. Some of them were additionally subjected to COVID-19 PCR testing. All tests, both rapid antibody and PCR, were negative for all students. The task force said these students assessed as low risk will complete the required 14-day quarantine in private homes and apartments. Another batch of students who return on Thursday are expected to undergo the same reparation protocols as required by the Health Services Subcommittee. No new positive COVID-19 cases has been reported since May 19, 2020. SVG has so far reported 18 COVID-19 cases. The first case was recorded here on March 11, 2020. 4 of these cases remain active. The public is reminded of the importance of proper hand hygiene, cough etiquette, physical distancing in public spaces, and smart mask use. All persons currently in quarantine or isolation must strictly adhere to all of these relevant rules. Let's all ensure that we continue to slow the spread of COVID-19 in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. President of the SVG Teachers Union, Oswald Robinson, said that the union still has no clear guidelines as to how the Ministry of Education planned to reopen schools on Monday, May the 25th. Robinson told SVG-TV News Today via a telephone interview that the union has written to the Ministry of Education, but to date, no correspondence has been received, and the union remains concerned for the health and safety of the teachers and students who are expected to return to the classroom on Monday. Robinson said they visited some schools and have seen some work being done, but they are still certain as to how the ministry officials are measuring standards for a clean and well-sanitized school environment.
Teachers can wear masks from the home to the school, right? It is expected that the employer provide the necessary safety gear for teachers at the workplace. That is the responsibility of the employer. It is in the law. Part of the law. For sure, if teachers have to go back to school, they would wear their safety gears, even though it is not mandatory. You see, in one instance, you're hearing people saying it is not mandatory. But then the instructions, the protocols that they have, they're saying they must wear masks. What the minister said, wearing the mask is not mandatory. But the principals are telling the teachers at the school they need to wear masks. If parents are visiting, anybody visiting the school, they're saying it is mandatory that you wear a mask.
Robinson said they will continue to monitor the situation, and while some students and teachers are eager to return to school, there are others who are hesitant of doing so because of safety concerns. He added that the Ministry of Education has limited face masks to provide to teachers and students, and this is an issue which must be addressed urgently.
In wash stations and so on, I don't know if one wash station is sufficient. You understand? I have seen cleaners and janitors scrubbing down schools and doing stuff. For example, I know one school, they only scrub the upstairs of the building, downstairs is dirty. In some schools, the cleaners scrub, but the teachers still have to go and sanitize the desks from dirt and so on. That's not their responsibility. Yeah, but not all schools are clean. And remember, right now, we have a problem with water. Central Water Authority has sent out an announcement concerning when they are going to turn off water in all the areas. So I don't know how the schools are going to operate if they are going to allow a special pipeline to go to the schools and cut it off from the other people. I don't know how they are going to do it.
The SVG Teachers Union president said that as the Ministry of Education proceeds with the phased reopening of schools, the union can only hope for the best.
Trust in the words of the authorities. Nothing is wrong with trusting what people say they are going to do. We don't want anybody to blame us if anything goes wrong. And we are hoping that nothing will go wrong. We heard the last time that another person had the COVID, whether the virus or the disease or whatever, and it came from sharing a home with two other persons who have it. Exactly. We don't want anybody to say we obstructing what they're doing, but at the same time, we still concerned about the safety of our teachers and our students. And I hope nobody would be vexed with the teachers union for saying we are still concerned.
The first batch of students who are expected to return to their classroom on Monday are grade 6, Form 5 and TVET students who are preparing for regional exams. Robinson said the union would be in a position on Monday to see how these students and teachers managed. And the National Executive of the General Membership of the SVG Teachers Union has expressed deep sorrow and solidarity with the family of those two students who sustained second and third degree burns in a gas station fire at Clifton, Union Island earlier this week. The two students, 12-year-old Lindy Neverson and 16-year-old Ronika Alexander, are said to be relatives of the SVG Teachers Union committee member Abdon White. President of the SVG Teachers Union, Oswald Robinson, wishes the students a speedy recovery.
Both of whom suffered second and third degree burns and first and second degree burns respectively as a result of a fire at the gas station at Union Island on Tuesday the 19th of May 2020. The St. Vincent and Grenadines Teachers Union is in solidarity with Brother Abdon White, the victims and their families, and the principal and staff of the Union Island Secondary School, Mr. Freddie Nart, the owner of the gas station, and by extension the entire community of Union Island. The union wishes a speedy recovery of all who have suffered as a result of this tragedy, and may they be comforted in this time of suffering.
Robinson said that the union is working along with White to see how they can assist students during this difficult time. SVG Supervisor of Elections Dora James is heading a 4-member CARICOM election observation mission to Suriname to monitor the general elections, which will be held on Monday 25th of May 2020. The CARICOM election observation mission already on the ground in Suriname is expected to meet with the electoral officials, leaders of political parties, and other stakeholders on the Republic of Suriname, and will monitor the election process, including the opening of the poll, the voting process, the closing of the poll, and the counting of the ballots. For CARICOM, election observation serves as a platform to support existing democratic traditions within the CARICOM community as part of its wider policy of supporting democracy and good governance. And the Amazona gildingi is one of the most unique species of birds known to man, and the Forestry Services Department is taking concrete steps to ensure this species of bird not just survive but thrive. On Monday, May the 4th, the Forestry Services Department recorded the birth of a successful hatchling of the bird. The Amazona gildingi became the national bird of SVG in 1979 and is protected internationally from trade and under the Local Wildlife Act. Several factors endanger the population in the wild, and to protect and encourage the breeding in a safe environment, around 30 birds are being housed at the Nichols Wildlife Facility. Speaking with the Ministry of Agriculture's Communication Unit, Director of Forestry Fitzgerald Providence said they have had some success with the breeding exercise.
Also have a breeding facility here, a captive breeding facility for our parrot. This breeding facility was developed because we need to have a captive population just in case you have a catastrophic event in the natural environment where the population is so decimated that it cannot come back on its own. So what we do is a breeding facility here. These birds are bred, as I said, it has to be a catastrophic event for us to put them back in the wild. But we breed them here to maintain a population here just in case of that. Also, it's an opportunity to educate and learn about the species at this facility. We've had an average success in terms of the breeding of the parrots, but one of our issues is that the genetic variability of the birds is limited because we have a limited population that we are breeding here. So we're hoping that with the collaboration of other entities we'll be able to improve the genetic stock here so that we can have a wider genetic variation in the young parrots that are born.
Providence said persons who've had parrots in their possession before 1979 are called custodians, and the Forestry Services Department is working along with these individuals to ensure the species is protected.
Also, we want to reach out to the custodians. We have the local custodians that have parrots in their possessions. They were given permission to hold these parrots because they proved that they didn't get them after 1979. If you had that parrot after 1979, you got it from the wild after 1979, it was brought to this facility. So those persons who would have had those birds and still have them in their possession, those that they had before 1979, they are what we call custodians. And they work with us in terms of we go out and we check with them, make sure that they have a standard in terms of how they're caring for these birds, in terms of the cage size and the food they're given, so that we're able to maintain good population where persons, I know persons like the parrot to be a pet, but it's more beautiful in the wild. But we still work with the custodians to maintain these parrots here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Forestry officer responsible for data collection, Hazeline Stapleton Ellis, said she is proud to play a role in preserving this important species.
Over my 2 years working here, it has been a bittersweet experience, but I think more sweet knowing that you're playing a vital role in order to upkeep your flagship species. We want this species to continue so that the other generations to come could actually, they don't want to see it on a picture or in a book, but then see it face to face and could at least communicate with it also. So it is, you know, a chilling experience to actually be in this position.
And Vincentians have been encouraged to show a greater appreciation for SVG's rich biodiversity. This as a local Environmental Days committee joins the rest of the world today in observing International Day for Biological Diversity. Biodiversity refers to the number of species of plants, animals, and microorganisms, and the International Biodiversity Day is used to raise public awareness on biodiversity issues and to disperse a greater understanding of their worth of nature. Speaking to our news team, Communication and Public Education Officer with the National Parks, Rivers and Beaches Authority, Twani Barrow, said this year's theme for International Biodiversity Day is Our Solution is in Nature, and it is suitable for SVG.
Vincent and the Grenadines is a well-known biodiversity hotspot. We have diverse marine, coastal, and terrestrial ecosystems and endemic species. Our biodiversity is threatened by various factors, including deforestation, climate change, sand mining, invasive species, pollution, and habitat conversion, among others. So today, the National Environmental Days Commemoration Committee urges Vincentians to celebrate by reflecting on the benefits of biodiversity and recognizing the importance of conserving our natural resources and working together to build a future life in harmony with nature in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.